Hello Year 3, here is lesson 3 of your fractions work. Hope you're all ready. We've been seeing some wonderful work sent in, so thank you ever so much for all of the maths work that you've been sending in to me, Mrs. Barnes, Mr. Banwell and Miss Ryan. I'm just going to share my screen so we can get today's lesson up. There we go. Okay, so hopefully a nice new page in your book, and can you write today's date and the WALT, please? The WALT today is to compare two proper fractions which have the same denominator. You might want to just pause the video a moment while you get that done. Okay, let's have a look at these two diagrams that we've got on your screen at the moment. What could you tell me about these two diagrams? What are they showing you? What vocabulary might you be able to use from the last two lessons? Hopefully you're saying that this diagram here is showing a unit fraction, and this diagram here is showing a non-unit fraction. If we were to write this fraction down, how many equal parts has this one been split up into? Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me do my fraction line, and the number on the bottom, the denominator, is going to be how many equal parts it's been split up into. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many of those 4 equal parts are we interested in? In this diagram, it's just 1. And that is our numerator, and that tells us that this is a unit fraction because we are only interested in 1 out of the 4 equal parts. For the second diagram, we've still got 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. So my denominator is the same, but this time 1, 2, 3 are shaded in. So I'm interested in 3 of the 4 equal parts. So this is a non-unit fraction. Let's have a look what Colin's asking us to do here. So what fraction is Colin asking you to find? He's asking you to find 2/3. You can see that fraction at the top here. Which one is showing us 2/3? A, B, or C? I'm going to leave you a moment to have a go at that one. Who thinks it's A? Who thinks it's B? And who thinks it's C? Well, hopefully you've said that the answer is C. Let's just check the other ones. If we go back to the fraction that Colin's asking us to look at, 2/3. So we know the denominator is asking us to look at a fraction that has been split up into 3 equal parts. Well, A has been split up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal parts. Can't be A. Let's have a look at B. B has been split up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal parts again. So it can't be B. The only one that it can be is C. But let's just check. Has it been split up into 3 equal parts? 1, 2, 3. Yes. And how many parts are we interested in? We're interested in 1, 2 of those parts. So the answer is C. Little extra question here. Is it a unit fraction or a non-unit fraction? Well, this numerator is greater than 1. So this is a non-unit fraction. Here's 2 more diagrams for you to have a look at. Oh, let's just move that up a little bit so that you can see what it says. This diagram here is showing 1/5, and this diagram here is showing 3/5. What do you notice about that? I'm going to write those using numbers as well as the words here. Maybe that will give us a little bit of help. So 1/5. We know that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal parts. So that is going to be my denominator. And how many of the parts are shaded? 1 of them. So this is 1/5. fifth, as it says in words at the top. This is a unit fraction. Let's have a look at this one here. So again, it's split up into 5 equal parts. So there's our denominator. How many of the parts are we interested in? 1, 2, 3 of those equal parts. So there's 3/5. That's a non-unit fraction. But what you should notice is that the denominators of both of these are the same. And if you have a look back at the waltz that you've just written, we're going to be comparing fractions today which have the same denominator. So we can have a look at this fraction here and this fraction here, and we can compare them because they have the same denominator. In this case, the denominator is 5 because both of them were split into 5 equal parts. So here we've got a fraction on the left-hand side and a bar model to show it. And on the right-hand side, there's something missing from the bottom there. The denominator is missing. I wonder what that denominator should be. I'm sure you've got it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the denominator for this one should also be 6. Now, because these fractions, 3/6 and 4/6, both have the same denominator, we can compare them. So let's shade in 3 of those parts. 1, 2, 3. So this is showing 3/6, and this one, 1, 2, 3, 4/6. 4 of the parts that we are interested in, 4 of the equal parts out of 6. And this is 3 parts that we are interested in out of the 6 equal parts. Which do you think is the bigger fraction? Do you think 3/6 is bigger or 4/6 is bigger? Let's have a look at another example. 2/5 and 4/5. The denominators are the same, so we can compare these two fractions. So for this one, we're going to shade in 2. And for this fraction in the bar model, we're going to shade in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one do you think is the bigger fraction? 2/5 or 4/5? Have a look at the bar models side by side. Which one has got more shaded? This one has only got 2 parts shaded, and the 4/5 has got 4 parts shaded out of the whole. So 4/5 is the bigger fraction. If we go back to the previous fraction, 3/6 was shaded, 4/6 was shaded, so 4/6 was the larger, the bigger fraction. And the bar model really helps us to see that quite clearly. Let's have a look what Coco is telling us here with the language. When the denominators are the same, the larger the numerator, the larger the fraction. When the denominators are the same, the smaller the numerator, the smaller the fraction. Let's just check what Coco is saying there. When the denominators are the same, so for these two, the denominators are the same. When the numerator is bigger, the fraction is bigger. So for this one, the numerator is 4, compared to this one where the numerator is 2. So 4 is bigger than 2, so 4/5 is bigger, is a larger fraction than 2/5. If we check with the other one, the denominators need to be the same. Which one has the larger numerator? Well, this one, because 4 is more than 3. So the larger fraction is 4/6. If it's the smaller numerator, that is the smaller fraction. But we need to make sure that the denominators are the same. Do you remember looking at these signs before? This sign means greater than. This sign means less than. And this sign means equals or equal to. And we can use these signs when we are comparing fractions. So we're going to pop one of those signs in between the bar model. On this side, we've got this fraction, and on the right-hand side, we've got this fraction. So let's shade in our bar model. So let's just check that the denominators are correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on this side, we need to shade in 2 parts. One, 2 parts shaded in. And on this side, oh, that's a unit fraction. We're just going to shade in 1 part. So let's go back and have a look at our signs. This means greater than, this means less than, and this means equal to. Do you think these 2 fractions are equal? Are they the same? No, one is definitely bigger than the other. But which one? Is 2/5 greater than or less than 1/5? Well, let's check what Coco just told us. The denominators are the same. Let's look at the numerators. This numerator is 2, and this numerator is 1. And 2 is more than 1, so 2/5 is larger than 1/5. 2/5 is greater than 1/5, so we can put our greater than sign in between the 2 bar models. Two-fifths is greater than 1/5. Here's another one for us to have a look at. 3/7 and 4/7. The denominators are the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Our bar models are there and ready. This one, we're going to be shading in 3 parts that we are interested in. 1, 2, 3. This one we're shading in 1, 2, 3, 4. And we need to put the sign in again. We know the denominators are the same, so we can compare these 2 fractions. Let's have a look at the numerators. Which numerator is bigger, 3 or 4? Well, 4 is larger than 3, so that means 4/7 is larger than 3/7, and we can see that in our bar model as well. So the sign I'm going to use this time, is it the greater than? That would say 3/7 is greater than 4/7. No, that's not the case. So this time we need to use the less than sign. So 3/7 is less than 4/7. 3/7 is smaller than 4/7. Oh, I've done it in blue. So 3/7 is less than 4/7. And here's one for you to have a go at. I'm going to leave this one on the screen for a moment if you'd like to pause it for a moment so you can have a go at it. This time we've got a fraction on the right-hand side, 3/6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, the denominator is correct. 6 equal parts. We're interested in 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. So this is showing 3/6. And we've already got one of the signs in the middle. Which one is it? So the question is, what could the other fraction be? So what could the fraction on this side be? And what could it not be? Just pause the recording for a moment and have a go at that question. Okay, hope you've had a good go at that one. So there are lots of different answers that you could put for this, but I need a fraction here that's going to make that sign correct. Let's just check what that sign means. Oh, here it is up here. It means greater than. So I need a fraction here that's going to be greater than this one here. So I need a numerator that's going to be bigger than 3. My denominator has to be the same. So my numerator has got to be more than 3. So my numerator could be 4. It could be 4/6. And that would mean that 1, 2, 3, 4 of your blocks are shaded in. The answer could be 5. Did you see what Mrs. Dyer did? Fraction line first, then the denominator, then the numerator. So the numerator could be 5/6, in which case you would need to shade in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. You could also have fraction line first, denominator. You could have 6/6, where all of the equal parts were shaded in. Those could be your answers for this question. It could have been 4/6 is greater than 3/6, 5/6 is greater than 3/6, or 6/6 are greater than 3/6. Well done if you got one of those. What could it not be? Well, it couldn't be a fraction where the numerator was smaller than 3/6. So it could not be 2/6. It could not be 1/6. And it also couldn't be 3/6, because 3/6 would be equal to 3/6. So the only answers you could have had were 4/6, 5/6, or 6/6. Okay, so here are some for you to have a go at in your books. So some do-it examples. You need to put in the signs less than or greater than to make these true. So the first one here is 2/4. Is that less than or greater than 1/4? And then continue with the others. Here's Colin and Coco reminding us of the language that we need to be using. So check that those denominators are the same each time, otherwise you can't compare the fractions. Keep looking at the numerators because that will help you decide which fraction is larger or smaller. When you've completed the do-its in your book, then you can go on to the go deep and go deeper. The go deep, Colin thinks that 3/5 is less than 1/5. Do you agree and prove it? maybe you want to use some of the language that Colin and Coco have taught you here. And don't forget, when you're answering the Go Deep, to use an example to show what the answer should be. And then the Go Deeper, another tricky one today, complete the statements and solve them in as many different ways as you can. There's one more slide for you to look at, which is a review of your learning. Can you put in the right words here when ordering fractions with the same denominator, the something, the something, the something, the fraction? So you need to be looking at words like larger and smaller, greater, and this word here is going to be numerator. And you might want to show that in a bar model as well. Well done, everybody. We shall look forward to seeing some of your maths work when it's completed. Just going to stop sharing the screen so that I can end the recording. Bye-bye, everybody.